Well, we approach 7:30 on this beautiful Saturday night here from Charlottesville High School Stadium in Charlottesville, Virginia. Welcome to Sports Engine Play and some Saturday night USL2 action. Marshall Emmert is my name. Camille Good alongside me. Our two belligerents this evening are the home side, the Charlottesville Blues, and the visiting Christos FC out of Baltimore, Maryland. Few brave fans making the trek out to populate the bleachers just below us. Some sweltering temperatures set to continue throughout the rest of the weekend. And Camille, this is a very physical game that we are playing tonight, and it is likely that that heat is going to have an effect on energy levels a little sooner than it normally does.
Absolutely, and the Blues dealt with that last match against Patuxent as well. And in this one, they'll be faced with another team in their tier, in their category, with the Blues sitting in 5th and Christos sitting in 6th. And coming off, obviously, that first home win of the season, they're in the right spirits, and it's another favorable opportunity to take 3 points.
Yeah, it was an eventful match on Wednesday against Patuxent. One of the goals of the season scored by Patuxent striker. But as we spoke with Tommy Denuzzo before the game, the Blues head coach, he said it shouldn't take a goal like that to galvanize us every single match. And galvanize them it did. They came back and scored 3 second-half goals against the Patuxent defense. Samuel Vigilante, Zach Martins, and David Okori, all playing in tonight's starting 11, all finding the net in that match. But a similar performance from Christos the same night on Wednesday against Virginia Marauders. Sam Walker, Eric Davis tying it up late in the second half for Christos up in Baltimore before Walker got a late 90th minute winner to seal 3 points for Christos. And as you said, Camille, this is a very well-matched set of teams that are playing tonight. It's 3 points separating them in the table. Christos in 6th, 3 points off of Charlottesville's 9. And an opportunity for the Blues to advance up the table as 2 and 3 are playing each other tonight in the Chesapeake Division. Lions Bridge taking on Virginia Beach United. BBU joint top behind only on goal difference. And Lions Bridge in 3rd, 3 points behind them at 17. Away we go here from Charlottesville High. A chance to set your starting lineups, beginning with the visitors. It is Andrew Mattingly with the number 0 shirt in goal, and he's joined by his 10 other outfield teammates. Eric Davis, Jameson Michelle, Nicholas Richardson, Luke Burdett, Francisco Hidalgo is their number 10. Brett St. Martin, number 11. Ethan Watson, Kyan Oladini, Sam Walker, the goal scorer, and Kyle Dangler rounding him out. And already an early chance here for the Blues. Towards the center, shot is blocked by the Christos back line. And here come the visitors. Building out of the back. And left back brought down. And a free kick in the Christos third.
Yeah, and Okori involved in that one. Martins with the blocked shot. And, of course, Okori here getting the start up top as the number 9 after last game's performance. Put in a really good shift alongside the rest of his midfielders and was rewarded finally with the final goal in that one against Patuxent.
Yeah, an impressive performance from the young University of Virginia attacker. That's where he is here in Charlottesville during the year. But he lined up at separate points in the match in all 3 separate attacking positions, beginning the match going down the left, switching to the right wing, and then finishing up the middle. That was where he got his final goal. Sulaiman Abdul Mateen knocked away. And that may actually be Kai Feng lining up at right wing. We'll get clarification for you here soon. But a throw in here for the Blues inside of midfield, only for a moment, as we consider our lineup for the home side here as well. back line should be familiar to you if you've watched Blues football all season long, as a clattering there in midfield on Vigilante. Advantage played. Charging forward now at some pace. Into the corner. It's a nice ball in, but closed down by Luke Madden and Ryan Gallagher. Gallagher, of course, the man in goal. J.C. Bailey, Luke Madden, Josh Yoder, and Alex Koshel. The four-man back line for Charlottesville. Three-man midfield. Marquez Nanasinkom, Zach Martins, and Samuel Vigilante. And then an attacking trio up front. Sam Roberson, David Okore, as my partner just mentioned, and Suleiman Abdul-Mati, who may be wearing number 16 tonight, as Summer League football players are known to do, switch some jerseys from time to time.
Absolutely, and Vigilante getting the worst of that collision. He'll be going out to the side just for a moment, I believe. Looks completely fine to continue, and he was one of those players as well in that midfield last game against Patuxent that just was really energetic with the absence of Graham Dugald. He is back in the lineup tonight on the bench, but clearly it seems like there's beginning to be more and more competition for these midfield spots.
Yeah, Vigilante, a really impressive, dynamic performance, as you said, involved in a lot of terrific chances, and getting the equalizing goal a few minutes into the second half in spectacular fashion. And he is back on the pitch, likely not slowing down at all after getting that knock. And away we go as Gallagher's goal kick goes errant, and it is a throw-in for Christos. Little shove in the back there from Sam Roberson, and now a proper set piece in the corner for the visitors. Defender standing over it. A little bit too long to make a significant effort at goal, but a cross might do the trick. It looks dangerous, but that is going to trickle out of play for a goal kick for Ryan Gallagher.
Seemed like Yoder just kind of missed that one, or also maybe let it just fall through him, and no one on that back post for Christos to punish.
That was Ethan Watson who tried to get a foot to it, and he bolted after it, but couldn't quite come up with it. As now their number 10, Hidalgo, getting involved, unable to stop the Blues' attack. Through ball coming from Vigilante, but Okore didn't think he timed his run properly, and he may be right, as that's going to come to nothing.
I think that looked a little bit closer than maybe Okore had thought if he had committed to that run, but you can see Vigilante getting into these high areas early.
And that's an encouraging sign, especially if you watched last match on Wednesday. It's exactly what he was doing to create the chances that he did. This is Luke Matt. Vigilante, lovely through ball looking for the right back, Alex Koshel. Finds him, and now Koshel into some space. Cross looking for Okore in the middle of the box, but that is taken out and intercepted, but cleared poorly. Ethan Watson now having to mop up. He does have some friends with him, but plenty of opponents as well. Cleared forward. Luke Madden interceding, and that slows the attack down. Watson will take the throw. That's sent in. Michel. With him was the dangerous Sam Walker. But it trickles back to the goalkeeper at the end of the day.
Yeah, and Christos has had an interesting record, as the foul is called there, throughout this season. Still no draws on the season, so their games have obviously gone one way or another. And on the road, just one win in 4 efforts with 3 losses, and that one being at Patuxent, of course, who has lost to just about everyone in the Chesapeake division. So, once again, another favorable opportunity for the Blues, and they seem to be on the front foot so far.
The ball down the right wing. Lovely footwork there from the winger for Christos, as that's knocked in towards the middle. That was looking for Michel, lurking at the edge of the box. But easy pickings for Gallagher as it bounces away. looking to really try to create as many chances as they had last match, are these Blues. And partner, naturally, you remember, you and I both there, considering how many shots that they had on target and the promising chances that they had created that were very unlucky not to convert so many of them.
Yeah, it truly could have been 5 or 6 if Okori and his midfield counterparts just had a little bit better of finishes on some really well-timed runs in behind, especially when it got late and that Patuxent backline was really high. But sometimes that's just the way it goes, and at least now they are coming off back-to-back games with 3-goal efforts, so clicking nonetheless.
Now, however, some early pressure on the Charlottesville backline does seem to be causing some communication trouble, but the Blues able to fortunately find their way out of it. Here's Roberson. 2 very good tackles there in the midfield, and now Christos coming again. Last ditch pass goes awry. Roberson now with it. J.C. Bailey back in the lineup at left back after a couple days off. Here's Madden. It'll be exciting to see in the second half, as Camille mentioned, Graham Doolittle back on the bench after a career-related absence on Wednesday. The other person back on the bench is Nick Simmons, who was terrific for the Blues in attack earlier on this season. Had seen some time away. Pressure on Christos. Vigilante running after it. Can't find a way around. Defender goes down, and the whistle goes. Smart from the Christos defender to take the charge on that one.
Yeah,
very much a tactical foul.
And talking with Dougal actually before the match about that pro trial he had, which, you know, some details withheld, but he said the level was very good, and, you know, if nothing else, it was a very good learning experience, you know, depending on whether this advances or not, but just a very good experience during this summer season trying to balance all of that.
Accomplished footballer for Mount St. Mary's during the year. Where's number 10 for them too, I believe. Forward march. Here's Hidalgo. Beautiful through ball looking for Walker. Tremendously long strides from the Christos attacker. Cleared away by Josh Yoder, and now Christos will set up for the throw. It's taken quickly, and now a collision here. Roberson does come up with the ball, but he didn't do so cleanly. And now another free kick, Christos. Already an early heated discussion with the referee. Discussing what looks to be boot height on that last challenge. 10 minutes gone, no score. No substantial efforts on goal as of yet. But again, we're not going to be seeing many. The ones that will appear will be ideally the best possible types of chances. It will take the most work to create them against the team that you match up with so well. Long free kick here.
Absolutely, partner, and that's kind of the way the Blues like to approach it with
Yes.
the tempo of their possession. They like to switch things around a lot, overlapping the fullbacks as well, and usually try to play balls and across and find those perfect combinations. So usually what you'll see is sometimes that doesn't work out. The defense can rotate early enough, but when they do get those chances, they are usually high danger.
Time taken with this free kick. Towards the edge of the box. Going up for it was Watson for Christos, but that was well read by the Blues defense. Now they're trying to break. Here's Abdul Mateen. Abdul Mateen charging forward now. And Adu probably will go ahead and confirm for you that it is in fact Kai Feng out there at the moment. Going down the right wing. Here's Watson for Christos. Jamison Michel. Round 2 Blues defenders. Into the middle. Walker trying to turn. Well read. Here's Hidalgo trying to break away. Pressure on Walker. Through ball in towards Roberson. He's going to try to run after it. Davis is defending for Christos. Roberson there. Time to set something up here for the Blues. Gives back to Vigilante. Now Marquez Nanasinka. J.C. Bailey. Back to Nanasinka. Okori. Neat ball here from Martins. A little heavy for Say Bailey. Does hold possession. Charging around his man. Going down with it and drawing the foul.
It's been getting really physical on this left wing for attack for the Blues. We've seen a couple of really harsh tackles. Maybe not foul card worthy, but some real physicality, 50-50s. And I feel like we're creeping up to that point where the first card will come out shortly.
Yeah, I think there's going to be there are enough people on warnings right now where that's absolutely not outside the realm of possibility. Long free kick here for the Blues. Similar looks to the last two that have come into their own box from Christos. Both center backs up looking to defend this. Or attack this ball, rather, as Eric Davis climbs the ladder and sends that away, but back in with it. Vigilante again trying to create some danger. Mattingly equal to it.
Yeah, good idea there by Vigilante, but just a little bit too much lift on that one. Okori was at the far post for making that run into the box.
Here's Michel. Long ball down the right flank. Great header by Say Bailey to get that one away. Putting his body on the line. Roberson. Back to Yoder. Madden. Through ball down the left flank. That's towards Say Bailey, but that's closed down fairly well. And it is once again into the clutches of Mattingly. Marquez Nanasinkan for the Blues. Under pressure. Now back to the goalkeeper. Quarter of an hour gone. Couple of set pieces for both teams, but no substantial efforts on goal. Neither keeper has been forced to make a save yet. Delivery towards the middle. Nanasinkan settles. And Martin sends away, looking for Roberson. That's closed down well by Davis. Back to Mattingly.
I wouldn't say it's been choppy in terms of the passing from the Blues, but every time they've tried to get down that left wing, that's when you've seen those harsh fouls one way or the other, and that's what's really stopped any of their momentum.
Yeah, good defense from Davis at fullback and Oladini at center back for Christos. And they've been strong on that side of the midfield as well. Now into some space for Christos. This is Dengler. Through looking for Michel. Well read by Koshel. It's back to St. Martin. And now back to the keeper. St. Martin under pressure. Has to get it away. Gives it to Dengler. Dengler tries the through ball looking for Watson. Intercepted by Koshel. Back to Nanasinka. Over to Say Bailey. And looks to be a quick injury stoppage. Referee's checking Dengler's quad. Stretching it out. Seems like he's okay. The players will likely be welcoming this break on account of the air temperature. 17 minutes gone, and considering how physical this game is, it's likely feeling like minute 67 as opposed to minute 17.
Yeah, and pair that with the fact that it's a bit of a shorter rest time since Saturday's match than maybe the usual week at some points in the middle during the season, and a little bit of rotation between the squad, and tired legs for sure. We'll be seeing those as this match goes on.
That likely contributes to Sulaiman Abdul Mateen, one of the primary attackers for the Blues, sitting on the bench on this one. He had quite the shift that he put in on Wednesday. Likely why Feng given the nod. You can see him just at the bottom of your screen there, number 16. Throw in taken here, Ethan Watson into Jamison Michel. Neat little footwork, gives back to Brett St. Martin for Christos. All right, did get confirmation it is Abdul Mateen wearing number 16. Delivered up and out.
Yeah, partner. Fang listed as 16 in the team sheet, so a bit of a confusion there, but we'll see if he comes on what number he'll be listed as. But so a good sign for the Blues, of course, a little bit of continuity because Paul is out after last match. And like we mentioned, a Corey slotting in at striker. So even though there's been a little bit of rotation, still that chemistry should remain.
Likely, and an early substitution here for Dangler, as it does appear to be serious enough where he needs some rest. Gavin Carmichael will enter the game at fullback in his place. Back to Gallagher. Now the Blues will build out of the back. Here's Yoder. Over to St. Bailey. Down the left, looking for Roberson. Well settled. Hangs on to the ball. Oladini trying to defend. Roberson, good ball control from him. Gives off to Vigilante. Samuel Vigilante now. Into some space. Delivery towards Okori on the edge of the box. Okori trying to get around Oladini and does. Shoots. Does force the save out of Mattingly. It's cleared only as far as Martins.
Fantastic footwork there by Okori to get his defender moving the wrong way, going to his left, but eventually a good recovery run and a turnover here.
And one cleanly by Vigilante. Delivery into Abdul Mateen, and just a little bit of a communication breakdown. Late run there from Abdul Mateen, looked like. Didn't really know what Vigilante was trying to do. We know that. He was just trying to make something happen. But it's easy for us to see here up on the eye in the sky. Here's Carmichael. Intercepted by Nanasinka. Abdul Mateen with it. Tried the delivery. Michel intervened, but in an unsafe way. Free kick here for the Blues.
And Okori, maybe not the most physical presence, and that's why he's not naturally a striker in this lineup, just in there tonight, but rewarded for his effort from last game, and he does have the quick feet, the pace, and in those one-on-one situations, that's where he can really thrive if his teammates can get him the ball.
Yeah, I think the other thing he's got is range. I mean, you're not really going to see a guy with his height functioning as a target man type, but he doesn't really have to because of the other tools that he has. And as we saw against Patuxent, he was very effective, not only at creating chances, but also converting them. As Gavin Carmichael is able to slow down Abdul Mateen. And a very deep free kick said to be taken by the Christos fullback. Now the goalkeeper Mattingly will stand over this. Down the left. Too far. Madden intervenes to try to get Sam Walker off of the ball and does. Martins. Sending that in a Corey's direction, but nothing doing. Looks to be 3-on-2 here. Dangerous moment here for Christos. Going to require a serious intervention here. Walker into the box. Here's Michel. Good cutback from him there. Lovely footwork from the Christos number 4, and is able to win his side a corner.
Yeah, but a bit of a rebound opportunity for Okori, but just not able to control that touchdown. Had Roberson absolutely all alone on the left side to spring forward him into the box, and that mistouch leads to this corner opportunity.
Well, it's a buzzing crowd tonight as the sun starts to go down. More fans trickling in. Corner to be taken. Looks like it's Nicholas Richardson taking this. Shot in low. Well parried out by Koshel. Oladini will send it back to a friendly pair of boots. And possession retained here by Christos. Carmichael. Walker is trying to find Watson. It's broken up by Koshel. Only for just a moment. Lovely footwork from Walker trying to get around Bailey. But enough help. Good team effort here from the Blues to clear that one away. Okori trying to run after this. He'll force an intervention from the keeper. Out to Gavin Carmichael. Back to Mattingly. Pass comes in towards Richardson. Richardson through, looking for Watson. Easy pickings for Madden. It bounces friendly for Vigilante now. This is looking promising here. David Okori into the box. 2-on-1. Well won by Christos. Pass forward. Lovely footwork, but J.C. Bailey equal to it. He can't keep it in, though. Oh, no, it was off of Christos. Sent in towards Josh Yoder. Approaching the 25-minute mark here in the match. No score. One save made by either keeper. That was Andrew Mattingly on David Okori just a few moments ago. Ryan Gallagher has not been seriously challenged yet. Alex Koshel here to take the throw for the Blues. Vigilante. Tough touch there from Martins, and he can't hang on. Here's Michel. And he makes Vigilante to reach Richardson. Oladini. Up to Walker.
Seems like Abdul Mateen and Roberson have switched sides for the moment. So we'll see if that brings a little bit better chemistry on each side of each wing.
Yeah, good spot. As Michel is brought down cleanly by the Blues defense. Roberson charging forward. Carmichael trying to defend him. Roberson using his pace. Now St. Martin down to defend. 2-on-1. Cross blocked by Hidalgo.
And a very timely block there because the switch was on for Abdul Mateen and Martins.
Throw in from Koshel to Nanasinka. And heavy challenge there on Vigilante from Hidalgo. And another throw in here for the Blues.
Both ways, honestly, a couple of these tackles have been rugby-esque in their nature. And I'm really surprised we haven't seen any cards yet.
Well, how big of a leash, really, does the referee elect to employ? Vigilante in towards the box. Looked like Luke Madden might have had an angle at that one, but he can't quite put it on plane.
Yeah, that's where Madden's best from an attacking perspective, but just meant that maybe just a little bit too far out to really have a true chance, even if it was on target.
Knock toward Walker. Can't get free. Well defended by Nanasinka. Abdul Mateen. Okori. Tough position. Great footwork, though, from Okori. Into the box he goes. Can't find a way through. Davis will mop that one up for Christos. Good passing here. Walker trying to get free again. Well defended by Yoder. Davis. He was pushed. Throw in. Taken quickly. And already a quick turnover Abdul Mateen can't quite adjust. He was already running a little too far. And Kalo Nadini will mop up. Brett St. Martin here for Christos. Takes his time, sends it back to his keeper. And now here he comes again, wearing that fluorescent captain's armband on his left arm. Watson. Switch on, looking for Davis. Finds it. Lovely ball there from Watson. Cross is a little heavy. That might have actually been an attempt at the far post. And that'll trickle away for a goal kick. Well, it was certainly struck with authority from Eric Davis, but just a little bit wide of the mark.
And going back to Okori, another thing he's bringing that I'm sure Coach Danuzzo really likes is the pressing. He's been one of the most active pressers out of possession, tracking back even when the ball has gotten into midfield. And he's leading this. It seems like more of a 4-2-3-1 out of possession. And Martin's being the one kind of to cover those tracks as well when it goes out a little bit wider.
Lifted middle. Watson trying to get free. And Roberson can't corral it. Yeah, the Blues have done a very good job at forcing some miscommunications on the Christos back line as a near perfect spin move there from Jamison Michel. But the opposite is also true, that to a lesser extent, mind you, but the passing has not been the greatest from the Blues back line, especially when they're building out of the back. This one's looking for Watson. Lovely touch from him. Just enough. Here's Carmichael. Down to Watson. Tries to find the cross. Elects to go center. Watson with an attempt. And smothered by Gallagher.
Yeah, on that same note, the Blues maybe having a little bit more of the possession, but I don't think they've really put their stamp on this game as far as creating those high danger chances. And it seems like the tempo has dropped off just a little, and that's honestly not a surprise in this heat.
Yeah, it took him to the second half last time to find the back of the net. Did have a very early goal disallowed due to offside on Wednesday. Carmichael. Delivery back to Mattingly. Okori's going to lay off. Again, likely trying to reserve those lungs. Still 60 minutes left to play here in this match. We're half an hour through this one. 0-0 our score. Both keepers have made a singular save. Gallagher's coming a moment ago off of a right-footed effort from Ethan Watson. And Mattingly forced to intervene to block a David Okori shot. This is a dangerous moment, though. Almost able to force something out of Josh Yoder, but the big central defender able to keep his cool and send that away. And now a much welcome water break.
Yeah, Yoder just maybe a little bit too casual there as the attacker was rushing through, but able to deal with it. And a much-deserved water break for both these teams. It's going to be a battle of attrition with just how back and forth this game is in terms of the sequences of possession not being all that thorough. And we'll see who really puts their stamp on this game if they can do that before halftime.
Yeah, indeed. I wonder really what the possibility is of how many first half subs we're going to see. And naturally, the conventional wisdom would dictate that you make your subs close to the 60th minute or so. That's generally the case at most levels of football. But you have to be careful, especially in weather like this. The good news for Charlottesville, though, is that most of their defenders, or rather their substitutions, are able to run the gamut of the positions that they can play. They have about an equal number of defenders, midfielders, and attackers on the bench. The big guys, you mentioned Graham Dougal a little bit earlier on in the game. He will be getting into this game at some point. It'll be a question of when. Nick Simmons also on the bench this evening. Terrific for the Blues earlier on this year. Could see him dropping into attack.
I would say Sloan as well. He's been fantastic at wingback, especially last game before he was subbed out. Definitely had a couple of sequences play out where you could say he deserved an assist or two and eventually was substituted off. But the options are there, especially with the style that the Blues play. They have players to slot in.
You could run the risk of really wearing down some very important positions in the first half if you don't make those subs. But by the same token, if you do pull the trigger a little bit too early, you run the risk of taking somebody out who's still got something left to give in the match.
Absolutely, and I'm sure that Coach Nuzzo and his staff will be using that break and other opportunities to communicate with these players as far as whether they think they're good enough to continue playing a certain amount of time.
Here's Eric Davis as we resume. Cross comes towards the back post. Michelle tries to put it on plane. It's saved by the post. A shot, another ricochet off the post. A third attempt is going to beat Gallagher, and it is a goal off the break for Christos. A wild sequence that ends with a goal for the visitors 34 minutes into the match. And the Blues, once again, will have to play from behind.
Well, and it's right off the restart and just a bad moment because it was about 3 players on that back line all just ball watching, it felt like, as the attacker crashed into the center of the box, and Gallagher thought that he got saved twice and would escape with it, but eventually Christos finds its lead.
Waiting to get goal clarification on who that was in the scrum. Looked to be the danger man, Sam Walker, who found the back of the net midweek, responsible for the 90th minute winner against Virginia Marauders. And Christos, failing to win on the road all year long, are well on their way. Unless the Blues are able to find an equalizer. Great intervention here from Nicholas Richardson, who did seem like he played a somewhat critical role coming off of that restart. The man who took the throw to give in to Eric Davis. Cross came in for Walker. Walker makes the attempt. It ricochets off the post twice. But Walker able to finish his dinner on the third attempt. And like you said, Camille, might have just been too many guys in front of the net in blue jerseys for Gallagher to know where the ball is going. Communication's so important. But this one going into the box, Alice Cochelle trying to mop up, but a really authoritative clearance from Brett St. Martin. Corner here for the Blues, an early chance to answer following a go-ahead goal from their opponents.
Well, they haven't made it easy, right? Even against Patuxent, went down going into halftime, and here they'll have to find their way back into this one. But the energy has been definitely in the right spirit since conceding.
Bleachers start to shake. Corner comes in from Vigilante. It's a good one. Tried to find Yoder. Going up for it was Vigilante as the whistle goes. A good effort at it by Roberson as well. But in the end, it comes to nothing.
A bit of an awkward jump and chop kick there by Vigilante. Referee had no choice. I don't think it connected on that Christos player in the box, but a scary type of moment there.
Yeah, good call from the referee. Christos trying to find their way into the Charlottesville third again. Watson will let Carmichael throw this one in. this late in the first half, another goal could be truly deadly. Abdul Mateen trying to get loose on Walker. He's able to keep the ball. Now Watson will get his chance to throw. Sends it in and away he goes. 3 bodies on him. And they're able to get it out and send it to Madden. But it's knocked back in by Richardson, on by Hidalgo, now towards Michel. Good dispossession by Alex Koshel. Under pressure. No way through. Again, he goes to the back. And again, he goes back to the keeper. They're doing a really good job in the Christos midfield, closing all passing lanes down.
Yeah, and of course, that goal getting them just a little bit more motivated in terms of their pressing. I haven't seen it this high from the entire team thus far. A great through ball there.
That's a good sequence. Can Vigilante find his way onto the end of this? Yes, he can. Goalkeeper comes out. Mattingly does get about just enough of a hand to it. Charging in Roberson. He can't find the angle. It's blocked by Kayin Oladini.
Well, I'm not sure if Mattingly, if that caught his arm outside of the... He looked like he came outside of the box.
That may be what the chatter from the Charlottesville bench is.
Vigilante appealing to the referee.
Unfortunately, no real way to determine it. And we'll see if Vigilante's public speaking skills come into handy here. Nothing doing, and it will be a corner. As we approach just about 5 minutes remaining of regulation here in this first half, Christos leads 1-0. Into the box, going up with it, Yoder, no angle. And a throw in. Still to come. There might be a way through here for the Blues with time remaining in the first. Trying to charge through Abdul Mateen. A clever way to win a corner there with help from his teammate, Nana Sinka. Blues will get another attempt at
another corner opportunity here. Yoder and Madden have each had their own headers go either wide or just not connect completely on them. And have to say the service hasn't been bad whatsoever. Just really have to kind of maybe set a couple of picks in there, set these big guys up.
David Okori standing on the edge of the box undefended as well, worth noting. Vigilante sets, delivers towards the back post. It won't reach anybody. And now Eric Davis able to break. Say Bailey sends that one back to Gallagher, and the counterattack is foiled. Marquez Nanasinka. Blues now playing with a little bit of extra urgency, going down 1-0. Koshel. Madden. He's letting the Christos attack set up in front of him. Trying to draw a little pressure. Pass goes wide, looking for Say Bailey. And instead it finds Davis. Into the middle toward Hidalgo. He thought he had it. Michel thought he had it, and it's a turnover. Vigilante trying to knock this one long towards Abdul Mateen. Abdul Mateen trying to turn on the gas, and a really difficult challenge, a heavy challenge made on Abdul Mateen. He was through on goal by the looks of things, and indeed the first card comes out to the center back, St. Martin.
Yeah, as you can see, those gaps are there in behind to play into these spaces, and Abdul Mateen has been a troubling force. He's back on this right side now, so they've been kind of flip-flopping a lot, but maybe that's confusing these backs a little bit out of Christos, and sets up another fantastic set-piece opportunity. That last one by Vigilante was probably the worst of the bunch. Needs to have a better one here.
A little closer in for Vigilante. Two-man wall he has to face. Okori and Martin's lurking on the edge of the box. Say Bailey and Koshel behind, everyone else in the center. Yoder at the back post, Madden at the near post. Bleachers shaking again. Hopefully you can hear it at home. This is what the atmosphere is all about. Vigilante plays it short. Ricochets off the wall, and it's cleared away. So again, another set-piece opportunity comes to nothing. Koshel. Time to build. With a little bit of urgency, maybe, and where was that one going? Absolutely nowhere. Edge of the sideline. And a giveaway to Christos.
Yeah, Christos has seemed really pinned back since conceding that goal outside of the one turnover that Madden had on the miscue.
Now Michel.
Opportunity to break.
Over to Watson. Into some space. Good footwork here from Watson. Has help in the middle. Keeps it. His attempt was to draw a foul there. It goes back to Davis. Great turn on Roberson. Davis now is clipped and draws the foul. Free kick, Christos.
And the yells are flying here. It's on the half.
Yes, indeed. Another card shown. This time looked to be on Roberson. And with just about a minute and a half remaining in regulation, actually a little less than that, probably more like 60 seconds. Another dangerous chance for the visitors. Confirmation that was Roberson who got the card. Now another goal here will be especially deadly this late on. Already some work to do for the Blues coming out of the interval. They don't want to make it more. Richardson stands over this. Carmichael and Michel back defending. Everyone else on the edge of the box. Service in. It's a good one, and it requires a very timely intervention from the Blues defense. It's pinged back inside. Oladini onto the foot of Davis. And he just skied that embarrassingly wide.
Well, Cy Bailey, maybe not the tallest player on that back line, but was really physical and completely stopped any attempted header by Christos.
Indeed, terrific intervention from Charlottesville's left back. And we are into stoppage time. Do the Blues have anything left here before the break? Just a minute remaining. Offside on Corey. And it'll be another goal kick here to end the half. This is not going to be a pleasant team talk from Coach Danuzzo. Be absolutely gutted to give that goal away. So what can he say? Something similar to Wednesday, perhaps, that resulted in 3 second-half goals to knock Patuxent off and rob them of their first 3 points of the year. Christos looking for their first 3 points on the road, and they are on their way to getting it. They have been the better team towards the back stretch of this first half, and the goal that came courtesy of Sam Walker has put them 1-0 up against the team just one place up from them in the standings. Second half comes your way in about 20 minutes' time. Don't go anywhere on Sports Engine Play. More USL2 next. Ready to carry on here from Charlottesville High School. It is the hometown Charlottesville Blues taking on Christos FC. Blues playing evidently how they like to play. 1-0 down at the half. But they've come back before, as they did on Wednesday against Patuxent. They will look to do it again. And indeed, they will do it with a few substitutions. Looks as though it is Kai Feng entering the game wearing number 30. He'll be joining David Okori in attack by the looks of things. I think the change was made for Zach Martins. So if you're playing along at home. And away we go. Early ball looking for a Corey. And excuse me, that was Nick Simmons entering the game for the Blues.
Dougal also in here at number 10. Was getting active there.
Seville captain joining the fray.
Yeah, returning after that 2-game absence. And he was the one who scored at Christos in just the second game of the season. His sole goal of the year. And will be looking to charge this comeback.
Talking of goals, here's a cross coming from McCory that goes to no one. And mopping it up is Ethan Watson. He looks toward the middle. Michelle running after it. Luke Madden able to intercede. Sends it up here to Abdul Mateen. And that is broken up. Running after it, Vigilante. Off on a marauding run. And a different keeper, actually, as well. Thanks to our public address announcer, Jason Crane, for that one. It is Aiden Mills in goal now, trying to defend this 1-0 lead for Christos. Obtained via their number 10, Francisco Hidalgo, who picked up the third successive rebound off of 2 Sam Walker shots towards the end of the first half. Good break up there. Simmons tries to lay it in for a Corey, but a heavy challenge there on the Charlottesville attacker by Kyan Oladini. Corey was really getting into a promising position. Red St. Martin is arguing his case with the referee. And the card comes out, shown to Oladini. Now both center backs on yellow cards.
Well, picking up right where he left off, the referee. Now the third yellow of this game. And it's going to be tough for both those center backs to now continue with that aggressiveness with this whole 45 left to go. And we'll see how this dynamic changes as well.
They're not going to be able to play with their same energy, yes.
Of course. And we'll see it, like I said, with this dynamic changing potentially with now Simmons in that number 9 role and Okori behind him for support. But as we saw, kind of Simmons dropping in and Okori making that support run.
Standing over this free kick is Vigilante, a man who loves to make something happen. Can he hear? As that's towards the far post, but much too high to be truly dangerous. And that's the challenge, really, of having only 1 day a week to train, is you can't really rehearse your set-piece plays all that much. And unfortunately, a little bit of impotence from that area by the Blues. As Eric Davis trying to run after this one. Broken up well by J.C. Bailey, only for a moment, though, as Davis sends a cross in. It's a little too heavy. It does find Michelle. It might have struck the wrist there. But that's a good clearance by Alex Koshel. And it is out for a Christos throw. Michelle, dribble on Walker. Is it over the line? No, the flag does appear to be up. Oh, and a sigh of relief from the Seville back line as Michelle just about kept that on plane, sent it to Walker. It looked as though it struck the inside of the crossbar and in, but Walker was over the line when he was able to receive the pass. So Vigilante trying to break. Delivery coming up for Nick Simmons. Corey now down the left flank. And Abdul Mateen still remaining in his spot on the right wing. Dougal up into an attacking midfield position. He's usually a standard box-to-box center midfielder when he plays. But his attacking instincts sorely needed in this situation. Trying to equalize for his squad, salvage a point or maybe 3 from this one. Koshel, still plenty of time to try to turn this score around. Here's Gallagher. Up to Simmons. Too far. Now a Sincom adjusts. Here is Dougal. Lost control of the ball, and it's mopped up by Nicholas Richardson for Christos. Good turn. Out to Eric Davis. J.C. Bailey. Deft cross. Well read, though, by Ryan Gallagher in goal. 50 minutes gone. 1-0 our score. Francisco Hidalgo is the man with the difference-making goal. Richardson. That's broken up by Nana Sincom. Lot of chirping from St. Martin at the referee in midfield. Yoder. Over to Dougal. Down to Say Bailey. Good triangle passing. Here's O'Corey. Simmons making a run. Nothing doing, but that's a great run from Dougal. It's 2-on-1. Dougal trying to find his way around. Makes an effort and ricochets off the bar. It bounced about as friendly as it could have for Aiden Mills to make that save. And an equalizing goal escapes the Blues by millimeters.
Well, what a fantastic opportunity there. Dougal immediately getting involved in this game. Had the opportunity to pass it to Abdul Mateen as well and decided to just continue his run in his own teammate's path. And in hindsight, of course, not scoring that opportunity, you have to consider that other passing lane.
Yeah, you know, we can always engage in a little bit of shoulda, woulda, coulda, and there was a shoulda there for sure. But just going to have to try to get the next one. It was a good effort on goal, and in fairness to him, he was, as I said, millimeters away from scoring. But sometimes it just bounces unfriendly for you, and that's what happened with Dougal.
Well, and again, with O'Corey now sliding in just behind Simmons, that's what unlocked that entire play with that beautiful outside of the foot pass to spring forward Dougal. He's going to be a bit more of a creator now.
Davis storming forward. Good cutback. Eric Davis switches the play over to Carmichael. Out to Watson. Watson cross looking for Walker. That's a great clearance there by Josh Yoder. Finds Dougal. Smothered by Walker, but just away to Nana Sincom. Touch too heavy. Nana Sincom staying with it, working on Michelle. Great physicality from Nana Sincom. Through ball looking for Simmons. An insane last-ditch effort there from Carmichael, but only for a moment. O'Corey with an effort at goal. It was right at Mills. Great persistence from David O'Corey to stay with that one. And a marvelous creation of a chance by Marquez. Nana Sincom not giving up on the play, staying with it, waiting for his man to make a mistake, and make a mistake he did. Whistle is going to go now as Mills tries to take the goal kick. And no, it I think it might be a free kick here in a dangerous position here for the Blues. They're rushing to take it as everyone will set up. We'll try to clarify exactly what the infraction was. But this one's going to be right on the edge of the 18.
I'm not sure what it could have been outside of maybe he tried to, with his goal kick, maybe he stepped outside of the box, but I'm not sure.
That's probably the most plausible option. He did look rather far out.
Because the referee noticed this immediately.
Sure, and that's why he's right on the edge. Looked like the card might have even come out there for a moment. Apologies that we can't be more authoritative with our calls here on account of our vantage point. But it is a free kick here for the Blues. Dougal standing over it alongside Simmons. And the ball obscured. Taken short, set up for Dougal. He tries the near post and nothing doing. Well, it was a nifty idea with Nana Sinkum standing up front as an option for the short pass. It was going to try to be a quick fire effort to give back to Dougal to shoot. And it is a smart way to beat the wall, but a little risky. Good intervention there by Alex Koshel down the right wing. Here's Yoder. Big center back charging forward. Gives off to Say Bailey. Good passing here. Say Bailey through the middle now. He gives off to Akori. Akori. He is able to meg his man and really physical challenge. And a couple in rapid succession. Now Michelle going down after it looked as though Roberson was broken up. Akori. To the center. Dougal. Layoff for Abdul Mateen. Good turn there by Koshel trying to set up the cross. Is it there? No, but a corner is.
Well, the response has been fantastic from the Blues. They're switching the play. Everyone's getting involved. And the energy is just very, very high. And if there is a second goal to come in this match, you have to say it's in the Blues' momentum at the moment.
It may yet come with how hard they have been putting their foot on the throat, as it were, of their opponents. Lots of pressure, and the call's coming their way. Corner coming in. It's to the far post. Yoder looks to be brought down cleanly, though. But good pickup there by Dougal, the captain, trying to set something up. He'll send it in again, looking for Madden, and a great intervention there by Mills to parry that one away before Luke Madden can put it on plane. Attack continuing. Simmons, now with a cross of his own. Too high for Madden. It goes back to Akori. Ricochets as far as Nana Sinkum. Back it comes again. Simmons through. It's clean. Over to Koshel. Easy pass and an attempt is made at goal by Abdul Mateen. Now Simmons, it had beaten the goalkeeper, but Davis able to clear it away. Back to Say Bailey. Blues keeping hold of the possession well. Nana Sinkum. Over to Koshel. Koshel looks at the long pass. He holds on. Over to Yoder. Say Bailey. Back to Yoder. Approaching the 60-minute mark here in this match. 1-0 our score. Hidalgo's goal still remains the difference, but the Blues threatening here. Abdul Mateen. Under pressure, that gets knocked out. Should be Charlottesville ball. It is. Luke Madden. Josh Yoder. Drawing Christos into their own half. Dougal, a lovely ball. Akori is onside. Simmons running with him. The tackle there by Davis. Akori staying with it. He can't hang on. Great tackle there by Davis. Spinning on the ground to try to get that one away, but he returning the favor, Luke Madden. And it might have been a little bit of a high boot there from the center back.
Seems like that took everything out of Davis because he immediately signaled to his bench and is still stretching out a little bit. And we'll see if he'll have to be replaced.
Yeah, the referee is going to take a look at him, as will his goalkeeper. Davis has been absolutely terrific down that right flank. Excellent speed. Reminds me of the great center fielder for the Reds who shares that name, Eric Davis. Getting stretched out. He doesn't really look like there are some substitutions warming up on the Christos bench. But they are not deep at that position. They'll go down to 10 for now.
Well, and Okori's been such a handful to deal with, right? He's gotten out onto this left-hand side, specifically in the second half. So if Davis does have to be substituted off, that's an even greater area to exploit and test whoever does replace him.
Yeah, because Davis had the physicality advantage on Okori. Okori, of course, quicker and more agile, but great strength and speed from Davis. Exactly what you want in a fullback, and he was also dangerous in attack as well. Free kick taken in on a Sinkom. Say Bailey. Down to Okori. He's working on Gavin Carmichael now. On a Sinkom. There's a little bit of space towards the middle. Dribbles towards it. Now sends it out to Alex Koshel. Or excuse me, that's Dougal, rather. Back to Charlottesville's number 10. On a Sinkom. Simmons. Stays with it. Gives it back to Yoder under pressure. Just about 60 minutes gone. One goal so far, but some strong chances here created for the Blues, especially in this second half. Pass looking toward Luke Madden, who was barreling in, looking to score a Ronald Koeman type of goal there, charging forward from center back.
Yeah, looking to inspire the rest of his team, getting in these forward positions, obviously trying to make up for that bit of confusion at the back that led to the Christos goal.
Knocked ahead. Here's Dougal. On a Sinkom, out to Say Bailey. He'll lay it off for Okori. David Okori. Cuts inside. Broken up, though, by Richardson. And offside is Walker, who was in a very dangerous position indeed. Free kick taken quickly. Here come the Blues again. They have pretty much had the entirety of the possession over the course of the last 10 minutes. As looks as though Davis is ready to re-enter the fray. Good news for Christos, bad for Charlottesville. Say Bailey. Simmons back to Nana Sinkom. Madden, under pressure from Michelle, gets that away to Koshel. Dougal. Up to Abdul Mateen. Out to Koshel. Gives it back to him now. Abdul Mateen into some space. This is lovely moving here from Charlottesville. Dougal onside. Simmons was not. Last-ditch clearance. Corralled by Say Bailey for Charlottesville. Samuel Vigilante. Toward the center. Gives to Dougal. Dougal trying to find the angle to shoot. Doesn't have one. Gives it off to Koshel. Back to Madden. Cross in, looking, and dangerous was Nick Simmons. But nothing doing on that occasion. That was actually Abdul Mateen who was looking to get on the end of that. Oladini looking for Walker. It's a strong header. Doesn't go the direction he wants it to, though. Walker back to Michelle. Forward with it is Vigilante. And in a trademark burst of speed, looked like he got rattled around a little bit as he was charging through midfield. Slow to start running again. Here's Davis. Pressure from Okori. Okori goes down, but right back up. No way through now for Davis. Waits for some help. Good defense from Abdul Mateen, and that might be a Charlottesville throw. It is. really, really spectacular defense from Nana Sincom. Ends up going away. Simmons thought he had it clean, but unfortunately not. Here's Brett St. Martin. 1-0 our score. 63 minutes gone. But the Blues are looking to find their way back in and have a couple of advantages going for them, namely that both of Christos' center backs are on yellow cards. Walker. Hidalgo. Through the middle. It's broken up. Great tackle, though, from Davis. Hidalgo. Carmichael. Through the middle. Davis with him. Carmichael into some space. Trying to create the cross. Cross is high and too far.
Well, that'll relieve a little bit of pressure against the Blues, as they still have about 25 minutes to get this equalizer. Of course, against Patuxent, they scored the 2 goals, not just the equalizer, by the 60th minute. And the defense, as you mentioned, partner, from Christos, much tighter here tonight.
That's a good header, looking for Akori. David Akori with it, working on Oladini. Good footwork from Akori. Still with it. It ricochets. Davis tries to keep it in. He does. Oh, no, perhaps not. Does break friendly for the home side, though. It'll be a Charlottesville throw. Simmons to take. Taken quickly. Not a Sincom. Still sensing blood in the water are the Blues. Simmons. Akori trying to get round. He does. Sets something up. Through ball, looking for Vigilante. Cross back, and it's in!
Offside, I believe.
And the flag is up. The flag is up. I believe. Looked like it might have been in an offside position. No one's celebrating.
It seems as though they'll discuss this.
Yeah, the referee is gonna check.
He points to the spot.
And it is in. My, oh my, what a sequence. And by our vantage point, it is that man again. Samuel Vigilante barrels that one in off the top of the crossbar and is able to knot this match up at 1.
And once again, as you mentioned, it's the usual suspects. Okori with that ball in to play through his teammate, and then Vigilante making that crashing run. Fantastic effort from the Blues. They did not hang their heads, and now still enough time to get a winner.
Got some clarification. It was Abdul Mateen getting the goal and Vigilante on the assist. Vigilante was the one that made the cutback run and sent it in for Abdul Mateen to finish a one-touch beauty off the inside of the crossbar. Jaden Say Bailey is looking like he's ready to enter the match, and it will be another substitute this time for Christos. Spencer Hanks will enter. Hanks in for Christos. And Jaden Say Bailey has also entered for Charlottesville. We'll get you the exact one-for-ones in just a moment. 67 minutes in, we're all knotted up at 1, thanks to Sulaiman Abdul Mateen. Patience for the Blues, and a lovely 20 minutes to start this second half. Yields results. Here we go again. Oladini. Up looking for Sam Walker. Well read by Josh Yoder. Gives it back to his keeper. It's not convincing, and it's knocked out for a throw. Ethan Watson chucks it back in. Here's Richardson. Back to Watson. Cross is not a good one. Bounces away. Sulaiman Abdul-Mateen has exited the game. And Jaden Say-Bailey will make his entrance. The goal scorer takes his seat. And a good pickup by my partner. The head coach for Christos, William Belcher, has been issued a yellow card. Yeah, there's been quite a few up-in-the-air decisions for these referees to make. And both coaches have been getting quite animated in response to them. Belcher evidently has crossed the line. Nanasinka switches the play over to Koshel. Forward with it. Vigilante. Layoff and a good pickup. Down to Say-Bailey. Good tackle there from Watson as that ball was trickling in David Okori's direction. Watson, good footwork. Pressure on him from Vigilante. But that one is going to trickle out. Approaching the 70-minute mark. 1-1 our score. Sulaiman Abdul-Mateen for Charlottesville and Francisco Hidalgo, your goal scorers in this one.
And I don't think either of these teams will be pulling many punches in these last 20 minutes. Of course, we saw Hanks come on. He's joint top scorer for Christos with 2. And so that signals a bit of an attacking mindset to continue pushing for the 3 points here on the road for Christos. And on the other side of things, the Blues not content with this point. They've already done it against Patuxent, and enough time here to have a little deja vu.
Yes, it is all to play for here in this last 20 minutes. Madden knocks it forward. Dougal. Into Nanasinka. Good layoff from Simmons. Cross goes in towards Okori. It's through, but too far, and Mills mops it up. Now substitutions coming here for Charlottesville. Nathan Lamb is getting loose, and Jaden Say-Bailey is about to enter for Abdul-Mateen. I believe that is what we are looking at. 3-man substitutes as well as, you called it correctly, Parker Sloan set to go for Charlottesville as well. Question will be which fullback he subs in for. As Blues trying to fight their way down the right wing. That pass goes to nobody, and it will be a turnover. Sloan, Lamb, and Say-Bailey, the younger that is set to enter. As I do believe he's younger, I'll have to check the team sheet on that. And looks like water break called, and that will likely signal in our substitutes. And this has been a very frustrating game for both sides. Predicted at the top of it. I will go ahead and pat myself on the back, so too my partner. There's my proof. For correctly predicting how physical this game was going to be. And this is just going to be one of those nights, even with the sun down, that every inch is a victory.
Absolutely. It's been very scrappy. These teams are only separated by 3 points, as we mentioned, and everything to play for here to try and climb up the standings with other teams towards the top playing each other. So some points will be dropped, and the opportunity is there.
Yeah, the Blues have had a much better second half than they did in the first one. They started out high tempo, high energy, and then they stopped the pressing about midway through it, and that was essentially what caused the back line to switch off. And the Hidalgo goal, we've been alluding to it over the course of this second half, case you are just joining us for this second half, it was 2 successive shots by Samuel Walker, joint top goal scorer, alongside Spencer Hanks for Christos, that resulted in a little bit of confusion. On the third attempt, it was Hidalgo charging in and going with a low shot that ended up beating Ryan Gallagher in goal.
And that was off the first half water break restart, and that's been happening to the Blues a little bit more often than they would have liked throughout the course of this season, and just another moment there. So right now, another opportunity to fix that and be a little bit more on the same side of things and keep that communication up.
Yeah, let's see how well they're able to adapt here. Taken short and sent long. Hanks trying to find his way through, make an impact. Say Bailey will intervene, sends that up to Jaden Say Bailey. Dugald. Jaden on the overlap. Now he gets the give from his captain and gives back to his brother. Marquez Nanasinkom back to Jay. Jay trying to find his way through, but it's broken up for a Charlottesville throw. Dugald and Jaden with him. Tries the give back. It works. Good crossing from Say Bailey. But it is mobbed up by Jay. Nathan Lamb entering for Vigilante, who has had an excellent shift tonight. Yet another. Lifted low towards the box and couldn't quite get the full force of his right foot on it. A noble effort there from Dugald.
Yeah, went for the one time there, and a lot of pace on that ball, whipped into the box. Just not connecting, but he's going to be playing a bit more of a forward role.
Yeah, with Lamb dropping into a holding midfield role alongside Nana Sinkom. Yeah, it's a high risk, high reward, that kind of shot. And oh my goodness, what a tackle that was. Combine Josh Yoder and the goalkeeper Ryan Gallagher for a terrific intervention on a surefire opportunity there from Walker. "75 minutes gone. 1-1 our score. Most physical game of the season for either team. We mentioned at the top of the show, it's the second meeting of the year between these two sides. It ended the first one 1-0 in Charlottesville's favor. As substitution made for Christos. Entering the game is Nick Laffey. And that will be it for Luke Burdett, whose name I have not gotten the chance to call all match long. But a good shift from him. He'll take a seat. Lifted down the right flank. Ethan Watson trying to keep this one in. He does. J.C. Bailey has to adjust very quickly. Good cutback here from Richardson. Calls for offside. Cross comes in towards the far post. But a good defensive effort will knock that one wide. Will be a corner here for Christos, though.
Yeah, it looks like Richardson just stayed offside. A couple of Blues players on that back line raising their hands out of instinct. And good on Yoder, I believe that was, to just parry it out. Despite giving up that corner, had to do that without kind of being able to look over his shoulder.
Under pressure towards the 80-minute mark. Christos has looked dangerous from set pieces, although they haven't been able to convert yet. It's all set up. And here comes the service. Good work from Madden to knock that one away alongside Jaden Say Bailey. Lamb tries to corral it under pressure. He does just about what he needs to do. Goal kick, Charlottesville. Lamb playing One of the final years of his collegiate career at Old Dominion University. Formerly of Virginia Military Institute. Program currently under the stewardship of Blues women's head coach Nick Regan. Good through ball in from Simmons, and an attempt is made to try to slide that one in by Parker Sloan. And Mills looked like he took quite the impact there.
Yeah, that was a true 50-50, and surprising how fast Sloan got up considering a bit of a collision there, and that's scary on this turf as well.
Well, he was the one coming in with his feet first.
Yeah. But no one really taking the worst of it there either, so...
Yeah, that's a lucky break. Oladini up to Watson. Knocked that one in no particular direction, and not a Syncom able to pick it up. Simmons under pressure. Draws a foul in the process. And real indignance now from the Christos bench. They really do not like the way this game is going from the referee's perspective. Lamb standing over this. Drums starting to get loud. Lots of set-piece opportunities here for the Blues. No conversions as of yet. Home side looking to find another comeback victory here at home. Lamb knocks it towards the far post, and authoritative clearance there from Mills. Throw in for the Blues. They remain in their opponent's third.
I think we'll be seeing another substitution here. It'll be... Actually, I'm not sure who that is. Don't know if we have a number 11 in our...
Well, we do, but he was wearing number 16, so I'll tell you exactly who that is. That'll be Kai Feng stepping in.
Switching numbers for tonight between him and Abdul Mateen.
Now that's an interesting change, as that's knocked in the direction of Dougal. He makes a desperate attempt, and it gets knocked off of Richardson's head. That is going to smart. Training staff is absolutely going to come out and take a look at him. While they do, we'll get a chance to tell you that Koshel will be the one making way for Kai Feng. And you can probably make the argument that the last few changes made for Charlottesville have been like-for-like position-wise. This one is not one of them. This is an attack-minded change, as it looks to be Charlottesville going to a three-back formation.
Yeah, and I see where Coach Denuzzo is coming from. Of course, it seems like they've taken the grasp of this game in the last 10 minutes, and as far as just pinning Christos into its own half, and you have Sloan as one of those wingbacks anyways, so that substitution with Feng is maybe a little bit risky, but seems like they should be covered in any, defensive sequences as well.
Indeed. Sloan getting about 70 minutes of rest before he enters is a very, very good sign. Encouraging sign. He'll try to lock things down on the right flank alongside Say Bailey, who is moving up into a wing-back position. Here's Simmons. Lovely cutback from the big man. Say Bailey. Inside. Not a Syncom. Over here to Say Bailey with a terrific attempt, and he finds the bottom of the net. Jaden Say Bailey gives the Blues the lead late in the 82nd minute. They lead it 2-1 over Christos.
Well, maybe not the most likely goal scorer, but the substitute comes on and finally fires one from the top of the box. A fantastic effort, and as you can see, this Blue side is fired up. Once again, they've come back from a 1-0 halftime deficit and looking to hold on to this one. Just about 7 minutes remaining now. Maybe some space will open up here and they could get that third.
That's a marvelous shot taken by that young man, going from the top of the box. Tough angle to hit, but if you're able to hit it, the goalkeeper has too many bodies in front of him to really see where that ball's going to pick it up in time. And it was so close to the post, it might have even kissed it before it shot in. Almost unsavable. Terrific shot from Say Bailey. And now the Blues have the lead, rewarded from a terrific second-half rebound. Fang trying to turn, Dougal trying to get a foot to it, nothing doing. Watson is going to have to stop his movement. Free kick here for Charlottesville. They will want 3. 83 minutes gone. Your goal scorers: Abdul Mateen, who now sits. He was able to equalize after Hidalgo gave Christos the lead. And Jaden Say Bailey, the substitute, with a dramatic moment here in this season, gives his team the lead. 6 minutes of defending still to do. Likely 7 with stoppage time. I wouldn't imagine the fourth official's going to give more than 2 minutes, considering how smooth and flowing the second half has been. Long throw looking for Simmons to try to get away. Tries to time it as well as he can, bombing through, but not quite getting away is Fang. Not a Sinkum. Gets round and couldn't do it cleanly, though. Free kick here for Christos. Trying to salvage what was 3 points just about 15 minutes ago. (2-1) our score. Blues have scored both their goals in the second half. St. Martin. Over to Carmichael. Now towards the center. And a lot of frustration being played here. Christos was thinking advantage, and none was given. And now, as payment, a card is given. Free kick taken. That might have been the substitute entering the book for what seemed to be some choice words. Looks to be St. Martin standing over this one. We approach the dive.